is not getting an intro because it's actually legitimately a live video. I mean, all the videos I make are live videos, but it's more out of a convenience, so I don't have to constantly run out of space on my phone. So yeah, today I just wanted to talk about shit that I really miss uh, concerning cartoons. I gotta tell you, I don't think we're ever gonna have cartoons like we used to have, um, at least in terms of Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, all that shit now. If it hasn't gone live action, it's gone preachy, and I like preachy, but only to a certain extent. I don't like when things get super repetitive in the media I consume. Maybe you feel the same way. Fuck, I'm starving right now. Going out at 6 tonight, so got nothing to do the rest of the day. Anyways, I just want to bring up some cartoons that maybe you forgot about, maybe you forgot existed, but ones that I used to watch avidly when I was little. Some of these you may recognize. If not, definitely look some of the ones that I mentioned up because you very might well may have enjoy them. I don't know how the fuck to speak today. Essentially, one of these is a show that I'm surprised did not last longer. Uh, the Life and Times of Juniper Lee. It's about this girl, and she basically sees monsters, and it's her job to fight monsters. And it was a good show. She has a little brother, a talking dog. Come to think of it now, it kind of reminds me a lot about American Dragon Jake Long. But yeah, The Life and Times of Juniper Lee. That was a good fucking show. That other show, was it The X's or was it Meet the X's? Let's see this shit. Meet the X's? Or was it just the X's? No. Then was it the X's? Cartoon, I go with that shit up. The X's, yeah. It's literally just called The X's. What if I could play it on here? Yeah, they were spies. And I don't know why. Like, watching this, it seemed a little too, what's the word? Incredibles. Only instead of being superheroes, they're spies. It just seemed, yeah, very Incredibles-esque. No peace in this house, I tell you. So yeah, that's the first one. Second one being this wonderful little gem by the name of Maggie and the Ferocious Beast in Nowhere Land. Remember that show? Remember how great that show was? That was a good fucking show. Also, like Max and Ruby. When's the last time you saw Max and Ruby? The Max and Ruby. What else is there? Dave the Barbarian. Bear in a Big Blue House. Roly Poly Oly. Shit, remember Roly Poly Oly? I need to get that on DVD. And then, of course, another one of my old favorites. And mind you, I'm not going to go by particular network here. I'm just bouncing around because when I was a kid, I would just flip the channels. I didn't, I think it took me a little while to understand. I've been watching Cartoon Network for hours. Why isn't SpongeBob coming on? And it took me a little while to go, oh, that's on a different network. And shit like that. Man, I really get pink, don't I? Angry Beavers. That's another one. Angry Beavers. I fucking love Angry Beavers. So, I'm actually curious. I'm going to look up. What other shows have I possibly forgotten? Remember Edgar and Ellen? Edgar and Ellen. We get it? You're leaving? Edgar and Ellen. Edgar and Ellen was a show about two twins. They're troublemakers. They look gothic and freaky and weird and eccentric. They're kind of Addams Family-esque. And they live in this fucking tower or some mansion or some shit. I forget what. And basically the town outside is all nice and sweet and, genuine white picket, white people and all that shit. And it's, a regular fucking suburban paradise. And then the two of them are obviously, troublemaking weirdos. But Edgar and Ellen, that was a good show. And I assume they're supposed to be like named after like Edgar Allan Poe instead of Allen. It's Ellen. It makes sense, I guess. Anyways, All Real Monsters. I remember All Real Monsters. Did I say Dave the Barbarian? I did say Dave the Barbarian. Do you remember when there was a Tarzan show? Remember the Tarzan movies came out and then they decided to make the Tarzan cartoon? That was funny. Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. That was another good one. Now I'm just going off the top of my head here. I'm trying to think when I moved out of watching just like regular cartoons and got to watching a lot of anime. Not sure when that point was. Probably high school. Definitely high school. Yeah, I remember I used to watch, in order, the three shows I probably used to watch the most were definitely, and probably this goes for like a fuck ton of people, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, and SpongeBob. SpongeBob I probably watched the most when I was younger. After a little while it became Jimmy Neutron. I definitely watched way more Jimmy Neutron. Then Fairly Odd Parents I always kind of came back to, bounced back and forth from. Those were fucking great shows. I emphasize were. I really don't like where they are now. There was another one. When I thought of Jimmy Neutron, I thought of CGI, and then I thought of the Butt Ugly Martians from Mars. Who the fuck remembers them? Butt Ugly Martians from Mars. That was a good show. And then SD Gundam Force. SD Gundam Force on, what's it called? What channel was that on? SD Gundam Force was Cartoon Network. Yeah, because I remember it was like anime-esque. And I remember catching one or two episodes of Duel Masters. Do you remember Duel Masters? I fucking love the first season of Duel Masters. I like how it had that whole, what do you call it? Ghost Stories aesthetic, where it was like, hey, when we bring it over to America and we do, this this dub, we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want with it. Really like that. That was funny. What else? See, now I'm trying to move out of the SD Gundam Duel Masters realm because now I'm just going to get into like anime and I have an endless list amount of that. That's a whole nother fucking video to go through. What other shows? I know I'm missing shit. Ubi. Remember Ubi? Ubi was good. With the hands and the eyes. Kablam! How could I fucking forget Kablam? Kablam was good. With that superhero force and they're all like toys. The one with the girl, and they're all flat. She has blue hair and pink tails, whatever the shit. I think she had blue hair and pink tails. Might have been green. Like Bulma's hair color. Again, I bounce back to anime. I just consumed too much anime in my life. In my youth. What else? Let's look it up. I need some help here. So I'm going to look up cartoons. Thank you, Google. From the 90s. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Ren and Stimpy. Seen it. Dexter's Laboratory, seen it. South Park, seen it. Rugrats, seen it. Animaniacs, seen it. Pinky and the Brain, Courage the Cowardly Dog, seen it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, something funny about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The first ever series that I watched of them was the 4Kids, early 2000s, I guess, show. Was it in the 90s? I don't know. But yeah, the 4Kids one. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The one where they, for the second half or that other chunk of the season or the series, they're in the future. That was cool. I actually have one of those video games hanging around. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Undead Nightmare. No, not Undead Nightmare. Mutant Nightmare 3. That was it. And I have a really hard time finding the other two Mutant Nightmares on my endless, never-ending quest to obtain every single GameCube game ever released in North America. Don't think it'll happen, but a man can dream. Next up we have Batman the Animated Series. I love that. Batman the Animated Series was the only series besides Duel Masters that I consistently rented DVDs from my local library for. Consistently. Powerpuff Girls, of course. Didn't they make an anime about that? Get off the anime. DuckTales, I did watch DuckTales growing up. Tailspin, do you remember Tailspin? I do. Powerpuff Girls. Johnny Bravo, how could I forget? SWAT Cats. I never really saw SWAT Cats. Wasn't a big fan of Gargoyles. Recess. Oh my god, Recess. I loved Recess. You know what used to scare the shit out of me with Recess? They had a Halloween episode that I actually watched online fucking like a week ago. It was the Halloween episode where it's three tales of terror told by, I think, Butch, who's like one of the kids on the playground, and he likes scary shit. And Butch is pretty cool. And he tells you like, basically these three stories. It's basically like Recess doing their own take, I guess, on Creepshow, and it was awesome. And the last story, one's about Mikey. I don't remember Mikey, right? You know Recess. You've seen Recess. Mikey's bike comes to life. And it reminded me a lot of that movie Rubber. Or should I say the movie Rubber reminded me a lot about this Recess episode. So the first one, the second one is Mikey's bike coming to life. Hello, English. The first story is about potato chips that turn Chip Girl into a werewolf, and anyone who eats them turns them into werewolves. And then the last one is they go beneath the school one night after they investigate what the Digger kids were running away in fear from, and they discovered an ancient burial ground with all of Muriel or Miss Finster's ancestors are buried. And yeah, fucking love this show. This is a great show. And the movie, the Recess movie, so good. Dexter's Lab, Animaniacs. Hey Arnold, do you remember Hey Arnold? Hey Arnold was a good show. You know what I constantly got Hey Arnold mixed up with? If you go back and watch episodes of The Critic, I think with John Lovitz, don't those art styles seem the same? In fact, I'm going to look that up right now. The X-Men, never watched much of the X-Men. I watched a lot of that 90s Spider-Man show with the theme. The theme is like, no. And then at the end there's that really good guitar solo. It goes, yeah, that was a good show. Tailspin with Baloo. I never understood Tailspin though. That kind of confused me because I'm like, it's Baloo from the Jungle Book, but where's Mowgli? And I know he didn't stay with the people forever. I saw the direct-to-video sequel to that. I saw Jungle Book 2. I know what happens. So, yeah. Sorry, I hate hair lying on my forehead. It bugs the shit out of me. The forehead must remain clear at all times. So yeah, Hey Arnold. The Hey Arnold movie was The Jungle Book, what the fuck? Of many adaptations of Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, it stands tall as one of the best. The show was just fun to watch. We used to love watching Mowgli grow up with a pack of wolves while doing ridiculous things with Blue and training Bagheera. Or Bagheera? No, Bagheera. What is this? The Centurions. Never heard of it, never seen it, never saw it. Captain Planet, fuck! I remember Captain Planet. That was a nice one. The Scooby-Doo show. Bro, I must have seen every fucking Scooby-Doo show. I even watched like 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. What's New Scooby-Doo? You know, it took me forever to figure out that Simple Plan did the What's New Scooby-Doo theme. My friend was saying, he's like, go up to somebody and say, hey, you ever listen to Simple Plan? And if they haven't listened to, I'm Just a Kid or any of that other stuff, they'd be like, no, I've never listened to Simple Plan. Really? You ever watched What's New Scooby-Doo? They're like, yeah, What's New Scooby-Doo? We're coming in for you. They're like, boom, you have listened to Simple Plan. He brought that to my attention, let's say a month ago. My buddy Zach, in case I didn't elaborate on that. He likes cartoons too, probably a little more than I do. But Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes, all right. Tom and Jerry, aren't. It always confuses me. Why aren't Tom and Jerry Looney Tunes? Or are they? And they're just considered like a separate thing. Sequence of. Yeah, maybe they are completely different. Thingamajig. The Flintstones. I liked the Flintstones. They're alright. The Jetsons. They're alright. You know what I noticed? is kind of interesting. 2 movies I've actually seen start to finish. No, 1 movie I've actually seen start to finish that I'm actually kind of surprised that I sat through the whole thing was the Flintstones. No, the Jetsons movie. And the only reason I saw the Jetsons movie was because it was playing on a flat screen TV in Bob's Furniture over here in Freehold. And I had nothing to do that day, and it was super fucking hot out. So I went in, got myself a free ice cream, got myself some candy, a cookie, and some water and coffee. Sat down, chilled out, told the dudes my parents were somewhere in the store, and I just sat there and I just in the air conditioning, in the cool, eating snacks and watching the Jetsons movie. And that was a very simple time in life. It was wonderful, and I wish I could return there. Next up, Popeye the Sailor. See, I never really watched a lot of the old Popeye the Sailor series. I've definitely seen old episodes. I always get confused between the episode. I know there's an episode of Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny's playing baseball, and then there's also an episode of maybe Popeye where Popeye's playing baseball, and I always get those 2 episodes confused. They just seem similar to me. But what I mainly know Popeye for is that CGI Popeye movie that came out a while back where they have to go through the Sea of Mystery or some shit because Popeye's looking for his father. That seems to be the plot of a lot of these Popeye, I don't know, serials, movies, whatever the hell they're called. But that CGI Popeye movie was pretty good. That came out when I was living in Florida, and it was like all the way back in 2003, 2004 maybe? But that was good. I like that Popeye movie. Not necessarily the original Popeye series. Except I really like that short where his 3 nephews and they all look like him. And they're all playing instruments and he keeps poking his head into the door. And every time he does, they stop. And that just got me thinking of why all these famous cartoon characters always have triplet nephews. Huh. And the only 3 I can think of is obviously Donald Duck, Popeye, and didn't Heathcliff have something similar? But yet they never lead on that they have any like siblings or anything like that. But I don't know. Weird. Maybe it's just a meme. You know, a meme before the word meme was established. Like basically just the creators fucking about. Next up, we have Batman Beyond. I liked Batman Beyond. The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Why were there fake adventures of Johnny Quest? The series features the teenage adventures of Johnny Quest, Ajit Singhai. I feel so racist. I cannot pronounce that name. And Jesse Bannon as they follow Dr. Benton Quest and his bodyguard to investigate strange phenomena, legends, and exotic local mysteries. I should really sit down and watch that show at some point. The Addams Family cartoon, never seen it, always wanted to. The Masked animated series, never seen it, always wanted to. The Roadrunner show, seen it so much. Pokemon, all right, now we gotta go into anime territory now. Definitely seen Pokemon. Watched a lot of Pokemon growing up. When I stopped watching Pokemon, we were on the Sinnoh region. No, what's the one with Diamond and Pearl? I stopped watching shortly after Diamond and Pearl. I watched everything in Pokemon from the first episode to the middle of Diamond and Pearl. Because Diamond and Pearl just lost me. SpongeBob, Dragon Ball Z, Pingu. Never seen Pingu in my life. Timon and Pumbaa. I was watching this the other day with my girlfriend. Aladdin. It was an Aladdin TV show. Probably. I'm not surprised. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I remember that. I always thought the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh had the fucking best theme. One of the best themes to a cartoon ever. It was just so wholesome and nice and cute and Inspector Gadget. Never really watched it. Kochikame? No clue. Transformers? Mr. Bean? Nope. The Bugs and Tweety Show? Yep. Beetlejuice? Hells yeah. Garfield and Friends? Yep. Naruto? Mm-mm. The Wild Thornberrys? Mm-hmm. Teen Titans? Definitely. Oh, the list only goes up to 47? Oh well. Teen Titans. That's another gem. I love the Teen Titans. I was really interested in their art style for like the backgrounds and stuff. like the way that the tower looked, the way that the city. I like that the city's called Jump City. It's like its own thing. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so early 2000s. So yeah, that's so cool. Jump City, bam. It's like rocket sail. Like I was trying to make for my card game. I was trying to make like a setting and make it like a kind of like 90s futuristic like utopia. Maybe not futuristic, but it's like there'd be like basic places to it's like what's the word? You'd have basic environments to just base the aesthetic of the game off of. And I was thinking of shit like, something a cool name for a city that the characters live in that play the card game. It's called like Jump City or something like that. Not necessarily Jump City, but like Nitro City, Turbo City. Um, and that actually led me to find out that in Sonic Riders, this is going a little bit off script, but in Sonic Riders, there's a level called Metal City, and the characters in the cutscene, Tails in the first cutscene refers to it as Future City or something like that. And I was so fucking confused because I'm like, I'm reading Metal City, but I heard Future City when I was younger, and I know I heard him say Future City. So I looked it up, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just called both. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, I guess. But yeah, a lot of inspiration to be gained from these old properties. What else we got in here? Courage Cowardly Dog goes without saying. I'm a Courage Cowardly Dog whore. Beavis and Butthead. All right. Yeah. I mean, I personally, I could watch Beavis and Butthead for fucking hours. Mind you, it'll put me to sleep after 10 minutes. Because it's funny. It is. And I do love it. But it does make me sleepy. And I don't know why. Because for all intents and purposes, it should totally keep me awake and tuned in. But I don't know. For whatever reason, Beavis and Butthead, especially the movie. Dude, I finally got through the movie the other day. After like God knows how many tries. And I was just surprised to get through this fucking movie. Because it just, I don't know, every single time I watched Beavis and Butthead Do America, I fell asleep. Every single time. I always fall asleep around the time that they get off the bus at the dam. Or, I don't know, about the time they come into conflict with, what's her name again? That lady who's trying to, her husband, who was played by Bruce Willis, is trying to kill her. What else we got here? Ooh, here's one. Now, mind you, this next one, I actually have the complete collection of, and that is Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? That was a good show. I really liked that. I actually watched that online, the whole thing. I just watched it in one fell swoop. So that was a good fucking show. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? That's a great one. I always like that globe thing where she would leave like pieces of like a globe around, or like the puzzle pieces, and then once you connect them, it would show you like the places she's going. You'd be able to track her. She's a cool fucking thief. They brought back Carmen Sandiego, but my problem is that they made her like a good guy, and she's like, I'm a thief, but I work for this organization. I steal things from bad guys or some shit like that. They made it very childish, very kiddie-ish, aimed towards like fucking toddlers. They need to, you know what they should do? Fuck, no, leave it to me. Put me in charge of a live action Carmen Sandiego film. I will rock that shit like a boat. That's what we need. We need a live action, not gritty, but almost Tarantino meets Suicide Squad. Maybe not Suicide Squad, no. We've had enough Suicide Squad. Enough of that, hey, I'm a zany character, poof, now I'm dead. No more of that. Nah, we definitely need like a live action Carmen Sandiego. I'd love to see Carmen Sandiego brought back into the fold of the mainstream. That'd be cool. Doug. I fucking hated Doug. That shit was so boring. As Told by Ginger. I used to fall asleep on that show. As Told by Ginger. Yeah, that used to put me to sleep. The Magic School Bus. Remember the Magic School Bus? I got a funny story about the Magic School Bus, actually. When I used to watch that, whenever I used to be bad, my mother had a VHS. It was called Kids for Character. And whenever we were bad, my mother would sit us in front of the TV and she would put on Kids for Character. And it's just basically a bunch of shows from PBS that would teach you like right from wrong and don't do this and you're supposed to share and yada yada yada, all that good, homegrown American shit. And there was one episode about condensation because they had each of the shows. You had like a little bit of you know, Sesame Street, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever the fuck. And was Sesame Street even on PBS? I don't even know. Anyways, the point that I'm getting at is that there was an episode on Kids for Character, or Kids for Character DVD, and it was the Magic School Bus. And it was an episode where they learned about condensation, where they turn into water, and then they evaporate, then they come back down again, and then they get transformed back into people. And that one segment always confused the fuck out of me because I could never understand what the moral lesson of that episode was supposed to be. In reality, I think they just needed an episode to fill the slot because whenever you watched Magic School Bus, the only message that they could really give you was Arnold, who was always acting like a cunt. Basically, don't be an Arnold. That's what it was all about. That's all I could really gauge from it. So, I don't know. And then, of course, on here we also have Ed, and Eddy, another great show. And, what's this one? Freakazoid. I never really liked Freakazoid. I mean, I imagine Freakazoid was much like The Mask, or at least they tried to radiate the same energy. Cat Dog, another great show. Rocko's Modern Life. But I didn't know what to think of that new movie. It was alright, I guess. Tiny Toons, great. Oswald the Octopus. Who remembers Oswald the Octopus? They had that great theme where it was just a that was a good show. And he had a hot dog Weenie. Weenie was his dog. Oh my god, that's a great show. Yeah, I think that's it. Bananas in Pajamas. No, I think that was more a British thing. And I don't know. I think that's going to do it because I'm totally running out of cartoons here. Stuff to reminisce about. Goof Troop. I remember Goof Troop. I mainly saw the movies. Funnily enough, I actually saw the second Goof Troop movie before I saw the first one. I don't know how that happened. Actually, I know exactly how that happened. When we were younger, we used to have this game for the GameCube called Disney Sports Skateboarding. And when I saw Max, Goofy's son, skateboarding in the second Goof Troop movie, I thought that it had to do with that video game. So I guess my parents got us that movie, not knowing that it's the second movie to a first movie that's based on a whole show. So, or did the movie come first and then the TV show? I don't know. What else we got on here? There was one thing that was really interesting. I meant to pick up on it. Thundercats, never got into it. Oh, did anybody else besides me ever watch Rosie and Jim? It was not a cartoon. And this is probably where I'll end the video. It was not a cartoon. It was a live action. It was about this guy named John, I guess. I mean, the main dude changed, I think, twice. First, it was like an older guy who wrote children's books, and he lived on like this long boat that goes through like London on these rivers and creeks and shit. And Rosie and Jim were two rag dolls that he had on the boat, but they were alive. And one of them had like a purse that she put stuff in, and the other one had like a notebook or something which he took notes and drew pictures in. And they were alive, but they'd always like to hide, And whenever it's kind of like Toy Story, whenever the main dude would come in, they'd be like, "We're not real." So that was kind of cool. Yeah, but that was Rosie and Jim. And that show, I remember the original guy, he had like a long beard and like glasses, wrote kids' books. His name, I think, was John. And then the other guy they called Too Tall. And Too Tall was a younger dude, and he got into like more adventures, like out and about. Because I'm pretty sure John was more like sit back and it's like, I wonder what Rosie and Jim are going to do today. And it was a British show, I remember, but I can't remember what channel it was on. No, it was on demand. That's right, it was on demand, because I think we got demand from some British broadcasting station, whatever, where they used to show like old British kids shows. I remember that, and I remember Trumper or Thrumper. He's basically like a little yellow car. He's like a tiny yellow car. And the only episode of that I remember is an episode where he stops a robber at a bowling alley. Yeah, And I think his catchphrase was like, "Brum, brum." Or am I thinking of Herbie Fully Loaded? I could be thinking of Herbie Fully Loaded. I mean, the thing with the little yellow car that I'm talking about was a real thing. That was a real show. He lived in like a garage, and it would like the opening to the show would be like the sun coming up, and then when the sun came up, he would like turn on, and then he would go out into the world and have an adventure. So that's pretty nice. But I can't remember what that. I'm gonna look that up right now. British children's show about a small yellow car. Brum. Brum, that's it. Brum. Brum. Yeah, it was like a tiny car and you would go on adventures and shit. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Nice to know I'm not fucking schizophrenic. Brum, also known as The Adventures of Brum, is a British children's television series about the adventures of a small, sentient, vintage car. Yeah, that's good. Brum. Brum. Look that shit up. That was a great show. And then, well, I guess if we're moving out of the realm of cartoons and just children's shows, there's always, well, I did mention Ooby. Ooby's not really a cartoon. But moving out of that realm, I guess you could also consider Toby the Tugboat. Remember Toby the Tugboat? Remember JJ the Jet Plane, that nightmare fuel? Thomas the Tank Engine. I used to be huge into Thomas the Tank Engine when I was younger. Bob the Builder. I don't think that's around anymore. Although it probably is. They probably updated it. Yeah, let me see. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob the Builder. No, we can't. Oh my god! Look what they did to my boy! Oh wow, that's a big rebranding. Hello. Ew, he looks disgusting. Ooh, it looks like he wants to kill me. Oh no. No, go back to the original design, please. I'm begging you. Bob the Builder, though. I used to have all those fucking toys, man. Bro, show me a Bob the Builder toy, please. Look that up. How much is that on fucking eBay? Oh wow, you could buy the original figures only like $9. Two of them. The original dude's only $6. $43 for two of the dudes. Okay, yeah. I remember, dude. I used to have like all these. Bruh. Yeah, they got fucking Bob the Builder stuff shit on here. That is so cool. And it's not even like that expensive. Most of it's just like $4, $2, $19. Bob the Builder's Bob's Electric Building Yard. Yo, that is so cool. Again, fucking starving. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for today. That's enough reminiscing. We all have adult lives, taxes, medical bills to get back to. So I will bid you all adieu for now, and I hope you have a very pleasant rest of your day. So long. Oh, and take care.